Hello viewers, I'm Aditi Lamba. This is ITV Gold Live exclusive edition on coronavirus pandemic. We are bringing to you top officials to address the South Asian American diaspora, and right now we have the honor and privilege of having with us, joining us from New Jersey via Skype, we have with us New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. He has very graciously agreed to address the South Asian American diaspora across the nation. Lots to talk to him and lots of information coming in from the government of New Jersey. So let's welcome on the show. We are joined right now live by Governor of New Jersey. Thank you so much for being with us, Governor Murphy.
Great to be with you, and thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, definitely. I really appreciate you addressing the South Asian American diaspora and also all of the other minority communities that are watching us live across the nation right now on ITV Gold. My first question to you has to be, there is a huge lockdown in New Jersey. You actually tweeted, and I loved it. It said, "I take the personal responsibility for the public health and safety of New Jersey. If you are unhappy about our aggressive social distancing measures, I am sorry, but your safety is my highest priority." I would love for you to sort of reflect on that tweet and how important that was for you to address that.
First of all, again, it's great to be on, and I will just say this: the South Asian community is as important to New Jersey as any other community, and frankly, more important to New Jersey than the South Asian community is to any other American state. So I'm thrilled to be here and speaking with you, and also speaking through you to your viewers. Listen, this is something that we began meeting on in January. I formed a whole of government task force on February 2nd. We've been trying at every step of the way to stay out ahead of this virus and stay out ahead of the COVID-19 disease or healthcare challenge that comes with it. We've taken an enormous toll. We are particularly in the northern part of the state. I know your family is in Middlesex County, from sort of Middlesex and Monmouth up. We're part of the New York metro area, and that area is the hardest hit area in America right now. So we've had several thousand people test positive. Tragically, we've lost 44 of our fellow New Jerseyans have lost their lives. We're doing everything we can to both get out ahead of this and flatten that curve through social distancing, and we've been as aggressive as any American state. Everything from calling the National Guard up, to restricting travel, to shutting schools, to telling people, frankly, just stay home. So we're doing that on the one hand, and on the other hand, we're expanding as best we can our healthcare system in terms of beds, the heroic healthcare workers, and the equipment that they need to do their jobs. So that's the challenge we're dealing with. We get there, we will get through this, there's no question in my mind, but we'll only get through this if all 9 million of us do our share and do our parts, and I'm confident New Jersey will do just that and emerge stronger than ever before.
Well, as a loyal New Jerseyan, I have to say I have a lot of faith in the government, and I thank you for your time and all of the efforts you're doing. I must ask you, we are addressing flattening the curve, staying inside, really using the social distancing to the maximum capacity. Your question on flattening the curve, how do you address it in the next couple of weeks? Where do you really see the curve flatten in terms of the communities in New Jersey and the time frame you're looking at currently?
Yeah, so I don't have a satisfactory answer for that. I apologize, but no one really does.
Right.
I will say this: the most aggressive action that we have taken, and we've taken a lot of aggressive steps. I'll give you an example. We went from infinity in terms of the amount of people who could gather in one place to 250 to 50 to now 0.
Yes.
So the most aggressive steps we took as of last Saturday, so that's 3 days ago. If you believe the medical facts and science as we do, this virus can take up to 2 weeks to run its course inside of any human.
Right.
So I think we're at least 10 or 12 days away from having even the earliest sense of whether or not the aggressive social distancing is doing its part, it's doing its job. God willing, it will be. And when we see that, and God willing, we will see it, we can then much better project on where we go from there. But this is somewhere between weeks and months, if I had to guess.
Yes.
I not too long after this interview, I've got a modeling meeting with our healthcare experts on exactly where we see this headed. But this is going to be with us for a while.
Governor, while I'm talking to you about what's happening and how long it's going to last, I'm asking you because we are very closely following your story and how open your administration has been about the need of the hours, how proactive the New Jersey government has been in terms of really blocking people up and making sure that preventative measures are taken. We had heard about your conversation with President Trump. I know that you have also asked for the federal government to help. FEMA is a huge part of this whole process as well. Your take on the communication between the federal government and the state government, and also what is the need of the hour for New Jersey as a state right now?
Listen, the relationship that we've had with the White House has been a good one, and I don't wake up every morning picking my president. Our president is Donald Trump. Our vice president is Mike Pence. And I have to say they have been very responsive to us. The FEMA leadership, the Army Corps leadership, first rate. I went to the president yesterday with a number of asks. One was personal protective equipment. Yeah. Shortly after the call, we got another installment. We need a lot more, but it was another installment which we desperately needed. I went to him and asked him for help in setting up and getting FEMA to set up field hospitals. We asked for 4, we got 4. They're en route to New Jersey right now. And so we have a good working relationship. We need more resources. We need federal money, I hope, coming out of the bills that will get through, the big bill that will get through Congress and, God willing, signed by the president. We need that to have direct state aid, direct cash assistance for states. We're laying it all out for our folks who are sick, for workers who are out of jobs, small businesses that are getting crushed. We need the federal government to come in behind us and support us. But the relationship is a good one. And I'll do everything on my side to make sure it remains a good relationship.
Governor Murphy, you reflected upon small businesses. Indian Americans and South Asian Americans make a huge portion of New Jersey. A lot of them thrive on these small businesses. A lot of the South Asian communities also had unrest about the school closings. They are unrest about a lot of lockdowns happening. Your address to them in terms of these issues, and also especially on the individuals that are really suffering the economic losses right now.
Yeah, the most important message I can give to folks is we understand your anxiety. We understand what's going on here, and we will do everything in our power to get through this as fast as we can and to lessen the anxiety. Right from day one, we had 2 broad choices. One choice was to let the virus run amok, suffer enormous sickness and fatalities, and have an economic meltdown. The other choice, which is the one we affirmatively took and continue to take, is to rip the Band-Aid off, right. Accept the fact there's going to be enormous economic pain, but through aggressive social distancing and flattening of that curve, limit the amount of fatalities and the folks who ultimately get this virus. I'll take that second choice every time out, but it's not a choice without pain. And I know the South Asian community is disproportionately represented in our small business community. So I know the pain that's suffering, that folks are suffering. Again, I think if we get a strong bill coming out of Congress that the president signs, there will be an enormous amount there for folks who are unemployed and for small businesses. That'll be a huge game changer in all of our communities, but in this case, in particular in the South Asian community.
Definitely. You've addressed the bill twice already, Governor Murphy. I would like for you to maybe perhaps give out a message to all of the individuals working in Washington, D.C., the need of the hour, how important this bill is for the state of New Jersey, and also the neighboring states also are needing a lot of this help too. So your comments on that.
Yeah, I mean, this bill is a big deal. Governor Cuomo in New York, Governor Lamont in Connecticut, Governor Wolf in Pennsylvania, and I put a letter out a number of days ago and said that we needed direct cash assistance just for our 4 states of $100 billion. So a bipartisan bill that includes direct cash assistance for states, that addresses small businesses, hospitals, uninsured, transit systems, community development block grants, etc. A bill that does all of that, that is bipartisan supported, signed by the president, is a huge game changer for New Jersey for sure, but for states all across the country, particularly the ones that have impacted the most by this virus. We're now the #2 state in America in terms of the total number of positive cases. We're part of that Metro New York reality. We desperately need this support. I'm cautiously optimistic we'll get it, but I would plead with folks on both sides of the aisle to get this across the goal line.
I truly appreciate you for saying that. I think it's very important for our audience to hear. We are running very close to the time, but I have two important questions to ask you, if you permit me. There are a lot of South Asian American doctors that are serving tirelessly, healthcare workers, people working for the federal government, state government, local officials, mayors, all from the community. Your message to them, I'm sure they would love to hear from the governor.
Yeah, listen, you make a very fair point. Again, the South Asian community is disproportionately represented among our healthcare workers, physicians, nurses, all the folks who are at the front line. And my most important message is to say you are our heroes, and thank you for extraordinary service at a time of great need. It's a community that matters in so many respects throughout the year, even in calm, otherwise peaceful times. But it's a community that stands tall, in particular when there's a crisis and that we need each other. And I want to tip my cap to everybody who's playing a role at the front lines, particularly in healthcare.
Yes, well, I really appreciate you for your time. We are running out of time right now. Thank you so much for being here with us on ITV Gold Live. As a parent, I would love for you to give your last comments, Murphy. Thank you so much.
Listen, I think this is, we've got 4 children. They're all doing remote learning right now. 3 in college, 1 in high school. It's a time, I think, in particular to love your family, stay close to them, keep social distancing, by the way, even if you're at home. But it's also an important point to remind our young people that they're not invincible. While it is less likely that this virus will impact them in a big way, it still could, and more likely they could unwittingly pass the virus to somebody like a grandparent who's more at risk. So I'd say to everybody, we mean it when we say this is real, to practice social distancing, to be responsible. And if we do all of our parts, and I know we will, New Jersey will emerge, even though we're the most diverse state in America, and there's no community that speaks to that better than the South Asian community, we will emerge as one family, stronger than ever before.
Yes, thank you so much. That's exactly what we wanted to hear, stronger than ever before. Thank you so much for joining us, Governor Murphy. I truly appreciate all of the work your administration is doing and that you are doing. Thank you so much.
Great to be on ITV Gold. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And that was none other than Governor Phil Murphy joining us from Skype live from New Jersey. Thank you so much for joining us on ITV Gold. Keep watching.